And on the farm, you learn one very simple concept very quickly, that you can't consume everything you produce in 1 year. That you've got to save some of these seeds to plant to have a crop for next year, or you're not going to have food for the following year. And it turns out that as human beings, that's one of the hardest things that we have to do, is delay instant gratification for future gratification, even if it's way, way greater. So basically, we're dumber than squirrels. In spite of these giant brains that we have, tomorrow us is way, way stronger than today us. And it's getting stronger. We used to save about 20% of what we produced, and then it was 10, and then it was 5, and then it was 2. And recently, we're actually spending all of what we produce and some of what we're going to produce in future years by borrowing. Squirrels would not be happy with the choices that we're making right now. And we need to think about that. I think a part of the reason why is we've been sold this bill of goods and believed it, that consumption is the way to happiness, and that more stuff, more things is the way that we're going to have, the greatest possible experience. And I'm not saying that the guy in the monastery on the right is my role model and what you should all become, but he may be closer to the formula than the girls on the left. And I'm not trying to sell you on a formula that is about buying into somebody else's routine or plan, but it's about how do we each create this plan for our own lives and invest in it to give us the happiest life that we possibly can. And what does that look like for each and every one of us? I spend a lot of my day, as the intro alluded to, think about investment portfolios, where you think about all these different things that we can invest in. And it's like a recipe when you're cooking, that you combine things and somehow they turn out to be more than the sum of the parts. And what I've learned about investing as I've gone through my career, I've seen a lot of parallels to the other parts of our life. This is my life portfolio and the things that add up to the happiest life for me that I can possibly have. And it's very similar to an investment portfolio. There's things that need to combine together, there's things that compete against each other, and there's some of these categories that if you don't do a good job of them and you lose them, none of the other categories make sense anymore. Can money buy happiness? Well, it turns out if you have very little of it, it actually can. But as we get more and more of it, diminishing returns set in. The unhappiest people in our society are the kids of very, very wealthy families. Well, why is it? Our dream is to win the lotto, and yet it turns out that would make most of us miserable. And the reason is we don't know how to invest money for the right purpose. And a big part of that is it's not about things and stuff. Experiences, a night out at the theater, for example, turns out to give us way more gratification than just more and more stuff that collects dust in our closet. And with 2 little boys, I can tell you how true that is. We're going to spend most of our waking hours doing whatever we do for work. And it's not just about money. It turns out that purpose is the most important part of whether we look back and enjoy our careers or don't enjoy our careers. And that's not somebody else's view of purpose. It's whether or not you think you did something that matters through all of your waking hours. I was asked many times early in my career, how did you generate career success so early and so fast? And I never tried. I never picked the highest paying job. I never picked the job that was going to give me the greatest title until now. I always invested in experiences and things that would help me learn about myself and what I was good at, because that's the key to career success, is understanding what you're good at. We only have one way to go through this journey of life, and that's in these weak, frail little vessels we call our body. And any of you that have ever struggled with your health will know exactly how much any of the rest of it means if you get that formula wrong. And yet we do. As a society, this is the greatest crisis that we face, is that we've lost the connection that we have very developed minds and very ancient bodies that we are not taking care of. The greatest risk for a child born today is obesity-related health illnesses, because we can't make good decisions and good investments. A sad state of affairs that we need to correct. We're meant to be active and play and exercise and sensitive to what we put into our bodies. But we're also very social. It turns out that connection to other people and community is the most important aspect of our lives. The greatest punishment that we eke out on somebody as a society is solitary confinement. That's how important social connections are. But it's also a process of investing, one that I had to learn the hard way, unfortunately. The late Dr. Stephen Covey said it's like an emotional bank account. If you think about the people that really matter in your life and how many deposits are you making versus withdrawals, think about the people that matter. Where is your emotional bank account with those individuals, and where is it going to go in the future? It's a trade-off between now and tomorrow. It's not about somebody else's plan for your life. It's just about stopping and taking the time to say, at the end of this journey, What do I want this experience to be like? What do I want the perfect life for me to have looked like and been a sum of? And starting with that as a plan. Because as the saying goes, if you aim at nothing, you will absolutely hit it. And a plan is a key to a good investment. You're going to be distracted along the way by lots of shortcuts. Get rich fast, get fit fast. I guarantee you the two people in that picture, it was a lot more about consistency and commitment than it was any little pill that they put in their mouth. And please remember that, because we've lost sight of that as a society, and that's the nature of investing. You don't have to do it alone, and in fact, you can't. You want to seek out great coaches, advisors, and people to help you, people to kick your ass when you need it, and to pick you up when you need that as well, and to teach you things along the way. Build a team around you in an ecosystem that helps you become a great investor in every part of your life portfolio. Don't try and do it alone. But it does come down to you. The next time you're faced with a choice in any of these categories, I ask you to think of this. Don't think of it as this one choice that you're making for a life. Think of it as a path and steps that you're taking down a path. Is it leading to you towards the life that you want to have or away from that? And think of that choice in that context. A great thing happens. At the start of investing, it feels like we're making sacrifices and we're delaying gratification. But as we do it more and more, in this crazy world that seems unpredictable, we're really learning how to control the hardest thing, which is ourselves. Thank you.